So Commercient includes with its software a success plan. This is the successful plan and the successful execution of the Commercient project for your business. You can do as much of the implementation as you wish and ask for help when you need it, or do as little of the implementation as you wish and let the Commercient support team do it for you. Either way, we will get you to the success point, guaranteed. We know how. Now, about that dirty ETL industry secret. What the ETL toolset companies do is focus on selling a toolset, but they know that in order for you to use the toolset, you have to be trained. In order to be trained, you need to be capable and accredited in various technologies, from the ERPs to APIs to Webservices, REST, SDKs, CRM, databases, queries, SQL, joins, servers, networking, firewalls, and so on. Just yesterday, I was reading a third-party account of requirements that an individual needed to have in order to use a legacy ETL toolset like Mulesoft, and it blew my mind. I know one thing for sure, the ETL companies don't openly advertise the full extent of the project the users will undertake, the total cost of the projects, the prerequisite skills needed, and the training required on the job. Here's the list I read for learning and becoming an expert. You may want to sit down for this. Here it goes. So to be able to use a particular legacy ETL, Java is preferred, or any other object-oriented language. Working knowledge of XML, JSON, and YAML data formats. Working knowledge of HTTP, in particular REST response patterns and common methods, get, post, put, delete. High-level understanding of messaging patterns such as JMS or AMQP. Proficiency with RAML and or OAuth. Working knowledge of open source controls such as Git. Understanding of RESTful API design principles. Understanding of pub-sub messaging patterns. Proficiency with Dataweave. Understanding Maven. Familiarity with various deployment models for Mule applications, including automation. Experience with basics of API manager functionalities, policies, analytics, etc. Working knowledge of high-level networking concepts such as LBS, firewalls, VPCs, VPNs, TLS, etc. Experience with advanced components of API manager, proxies, contract management, SLAs, etc. Extensive experience with integration patterns including batch messaging and APIs. Understanding of application security, for example, OAuth, encryption, etc. Working knowledge of cloud and on-prem compute capacity provisioning, in particular Cloudhub worker scaling. Strong technical and non-technical communication skills. What amazed me was that the author's conclusion was, these are by no means exhaustive, but it's pretty representative of what I would expect. So there you have it. With a legacy ETL developer toolkit, if you're going to be able to do a project, you're outgunned before you even sign the contract. If you're a multi-person IT shop, then you'll need to take a staff of about 5 people and send them on training. Write up a large plan to span at least 6 months of time. Plan to deliver late, have bugs, problems, and the worst part is plan to have unsolvables for the rest of time. Plan to manage and babysit your ETL project from morning to the afternoon. Plan to report back to management why the finance numbers don't add up in the ERP or the CRM system, why some records are missing one day and not another, and why some data is stale. Make sure you eliminate your future plans to do anything else for the next year and a half, because ETL integration projects will consume your role. But Richard, my CRM partner said they will do the integration for me. They say they've done it before. They used Jitterbit or Dell Boomi or Acumatica, Mulesoft or eBridge. This is where I have to have a heart-to-heart with them and explain a few things. You see, it's not unlike someone telling you that they can build a car for you. The same things apply to those companies that apply to your IT department. In order for them to be able to build a reliable ETL integration, they need to have a very, very steady pipeline of integrations to keep their ETL team busy 100% of the time. And that team must be growing. Why must they grow? Because ETL doesn't scale. You see, the business model of ETL integrations fails before it begins. ETL is not a jack-of-all-trades type of job. The only companies I can see that can afford ETL projects are insurance companies and banks who literally print money. So I guess they can afford ETL. If you don't believe me, then just go to LinkedIn and search for people with the keywords Acumatica, IBM Data Stage, and see the top 10 people they work for. It's always the banks, the top 5 global consulting firms, and the IBMs of the world. I even did a deeper dive on LinkedIn and looked at countries and their use of ETL. And what I found was staggering. In emerging markets, the only companies affording ETL solutions were the foreign banks. Go look on LinkedIn and see for yourself. ETL solutions are just not affordable. Imagine you're building cars and you engineer the car from scratch every time. The thing is, you're going to have problems, different problems with every car you build, and every car in your entire fleet will be completely unreliable. So what these ETL developers or consulting companies are doing is building and then running the systems every day for their clients. Well, someone has to pay for that. And guess who that is? It's their customers. They get their claws into their customers with the lure of a project that usually starts at around $50K or more for the first year, and they add around $30K for implementation, and the bill quickly runs up to $80K within the first year. Now after the first year, they have you hooked. You can't run the system. Only they know how to run it, and they can't scale. Now they have everyone hooked on a unique project. Everything is custom for their clients, and everything is run and managed by hand by the ETL company. You'll be paying a minimum of $10,000 to $20,000 a year for support, plus a minimum of $50 to $100K a year, every year, forever, for the software licenses. That's what it takes to keep a legacy ETL company that cannot scale in business. That's what you, the customer, has to foot the bill for. And that's the dirty secret of ETL industry's implementation and support billing.